Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So on this episode I'm going to take you through how to make a nice simple bolt rig. So the things that you'll need to start with, you'll need some line, braid, monofilament, whatever you choose. You'll need a baiting needle, baiting drill possibly, a knot tester, some scissors. You'll need a lead weight such as this one. You'll need a lead clip because we're going to do this one based on the lead clip. I'm also going to use a kicker, which isn't necessary. A swivel. You can also use a quick change swivel. I'm just going to use a standard one in this video. I'm going to use a piece of fake corn here just to simulate the bait, and you'll need a hook. So let's get into the video. Okay, so first of all I'm going to take about 30 centimeters of line and I'm going to make a cut. So I'm going to create the end of the rig from scratch. So again I'm just going to start off by making the hair rig. Get your knot tester. If you want to know how to do this part, I'll put a link above to show you a tutorial on how to do that. I'm just going to cut the tag end. So we've got our little loop here. Next thing to do, we're going to put our bait on. So I'm going to add on the piece of fake corn here. Don't need a baiting drill for this because it is just like rubber. The needle will just push straight through. So where's our line gone? Here it is. Got our little loop. We're going to hook it through like so, and then I'm just going to put a bait stop on the end. I'm just going to use a nice colourful one so that you can see. Pull the bait back over. There we go. There's the end of our rig. So for this, for a bolt rig, you don't have to use a hair rig, but for carp fishing, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to use a hair rig. You can just tie the hook on as normal. So next we need our hook. Okay, through the back of the eye. Let's put the line, bring it down to the bait. Now we're going to just decide what distance we would like. I'm going to go for about that much, and I'm going to begin to tie a knotless knot. So I'm going to put as many turns in as it takes to get it roughly level with the tip of the hook, and then I'm going to put the line back through the end, through the back of the eye again, and pull in. There we have our knotless knot hair rig tied. Okay, so for the next step, I'm going to take my kicker. As I say, you don't need this. It just helps with tangles, keeps everything neat. I'm going to put that through the end of the line. Okay, and I'm just going to pull that down out of the way for now. Forget about that. Then I'm going to take my swivel and I'm going to tie that on. And for this I'm going to use a clinch knot. You can use an improved clinch knot if you like, depending on the thickness of the line. I find with thick lines, you don't need to improve the knot. You can just put it through once, and I've tried this out many times and it works. So before we pull that knot down, we're just going to wet it with some saliva. Pull that down to the swivel, making sure it's nice and tight. Okay, I'm going to cut the tag end off as well. Just give that a little check with your knot puller. You've got a nice strong tie there. So that's the first part done. That is the the end part done, the rig. So now we're going to move on to attaching the weight on. Okay, so again for this one, I'm going to simulate the main line. So I'm just going to cut a section of line here. Okay, so we're working from the main line now. So the line that's coming out of the end of your rod, first of all, you want to add your lead clip to this. So we pull the lead clip apart, it comes into two pieces. As you can see, it's for fish safety, so that if the weight gets caught in any weed, the weight will actually pull off. I'll show you that in a moment. So we just take this apart and begin to thread the main line through. So there it is through. Then we're going to go ahead and attach our rig at the other end of the swivel onto that. Again, I'm just going to use another clinch knot for this. You can use a Paloma knot, you can use a few other different knots. It is the knot that I prefer. It's not necessarily the best knot, but in my experience I like it. I'm just going to wet the line again, pull that down. Always remember to check your knots with your knot puller, because you don't want to catch a fish and then the knot fail. That is probably the main reason why people lose fish, because they don't check their knots. And you don't just lose the fish with that, the fish actually gets a rig stuck on it, so it's bad for you and it's bad for the fish. Okay, so that part is done. Now, this is where we can pull the kicker that I put on the rig up towards the swivel, and that will seat down on the end of the swivel. Okay, and then we take the other end where we've put our lead clip on, and we're going to bring that down to meet it. Here we go. So with these, you can actually use them running as so, or for in this case as a bolt rig. What you want to do is you want to push this lead clip down on top of the swivel, so it goes all nice and tight inside. And with that kicker now, all the setup there, the swivel and everything is covered to prevent any tangles. And now what you're going to do is you're going to take your lead weight and you're going to attach it to the lead clip here. And then push the cover back down. Okay, so as I was saying earlier about the safety of fish, if a fish is caught in the weed, if you're playing a fish and this big part gets caught, just in case the fish breaks off, you don't want the fish to be carrying this big heavy weight around. So as the fish pulls, it will pull this way, and then this cover will flop off, and then the weight will fall off. So it's good for fish safety. So I'll just put that back on there. Okay, so we've got the main line going down to the lead clip and the weight, and then we carry on down. Then we've got our hook and the bait. So just to quickly summarise, when you have the bait on the bottom, a fish will pick that up, it will move off with it briefly, and when it hits this weight, you can see there, that will be on the mud, partially sunk into the silt at the bottom, and there's a resistance there, and that weight will help to set the hook. So as soon as the fish moves, whichever distance you have chosen for your hook link, I've chosen about 30 centimeters. Once the fish picks up that bait and moves 30 centimeters, it will come into resistance with that weight, and the fish will be hooked. So when you're carp fishing, what you'll find is that when you've got a bite alarm set up, when the fish gets to this point and it feels that resistance, it will bolt, and then you will get a run on your bite alarms. So that is a nice, simple, effective rig. As you can see, if you flick that around, there's no way you can get a tangle there. And especially if you use like a fluorocarbon, it's got even less chance of tangling. But even with a mono, you can see that is nice and presentable. So you would cast it out, it would hit the bottom, and then you could just tighten up the line, pull everything nice and neat there. fish will come along, take that, it will lift, it will hit the weight here, and then you'll get it bolt off, and then it will run like this, and you'll get bip 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 bip, and you've got your fish. So I hope that was useful. If you're watching this, I hope you've learned how to do that now, and if that was helpful for you, please leave a like below, and please consider subscribing also. I'll be making many more videos like this one in the future. Let me know how you make your own, and as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.